Good evening. It is Matt Rogers. It is now the 29th of November 2024. Please look closely at this evidence that we're going to produce on this broadcast for you. And big respect to many people now that are noticing this channel, this new channel, just to show different video evidence and photography. It is so important to the Nibiru community. Now, this was taken this afternoon around about 3:20 p.m. towards the sunset. So indeed, what we're noticing is casting shadows to either side, to the right side of the photograph. This is the dark casting shadow. There is something of a red body or something else, refraction of light of a huge space rock. Notice as well where we see this red haze surrounding the object. It's much lighter in the skies to the left-hand side. To the right side, we notice again a dark area, a shadow casting. Just down below, it's a genuine photograph. You can see the light refraction from the sun just below here where we notice the object. What could it be? Again, it was only taken a short while ago today of the skies. So the object is still appearing and then disappearing. With this next photograph, this was taken a couple of weeks ago. So what we're noticing is Mars. Now, when I took the photograph with this video evidence, I take pictures like I explained on the other video of recording up to 3 to 4 hours or even 24 hours recording and then going back to it to see what has been captured. And I can tell you now without a shadow of a doubt, you pick up some very strange phenomena. Sometimes it could be mistaken by just something of a camera refraction. Always be aware of that. But indeed what we're here seeing and noticing is Mars. You can notice as well the astronomical red glow to the right hand side, stars. But what took me with this picture were these huge space rocks. There is one here and also another one. I mean, look at the pattern and the formations, very similar. What are they? Notice down here as well, stars that we can see on the photograph. We can see the celestial body to this area, but this is very strange. What could they be? Yet another very spectacular photograph. Many people send in pictures a long time ago explaining that they can see the very important phenomena of Planet X, Nibiru, Helion, Farada, Arboda. There is something of a space body. Now, indeed, what we're noticing is two bodies. We can see the red refraction of light from another intruder. We might be noticing here Nemesis. Now, Nemesis is spoken about many times as well. And yes, it's spoken in documentaries and other people that speak about it in different channels as well. Very important because Nemesis is a brown dwarf star that carries with it the smaller bodies like Nibiru. Now, indeed, this is a very important picture because we're seeing something celestial, a planet, to this side. Always when we see a planet, we see and start to notice dark shadows, astronomical shadows in our skies. Here is where we notice the Sol, the sun, the haze. But there is something of two objects in particular showing up to the right side of where we notice the sun. Look what happened to the sun at around 2 p.m. this afternoon. Something changed. Indeed, we spoke about cloaking technology. Now, this technology is real, folks. They can cloak, they can hide things right in front of your eyes. They can cloak a hand, a body, a huge object. Now, this is one timestamp around about 2 p.m. where we notice the sun is missing. Something is missing. Now, I did explain about huge mirrors or technology or something advanced. I mean, look at this formation here. Just behind the formation, we're supposed to be seeing the sun. But the sun looks like it's disappeared. We see other formations as well in the photograph. Cloud formations, dark shadows. But indeed, the shape of the sun is gone. There is something completely covering up the sun. Like there is a huge object, something interstellar Or are we seeing a huge device, lasers, mirrors, some kind of cover-up? A genuine photograph. You can enhance it. You can check this photograph. It is genuine. Why did the sun do this? What is going on? This is called invisibility cloaking device. It hides objects. Now, again, when you look at it very carefully, notice how the hand is in front of where we see this cloaking technology, this strange lens, this mirror, or are we seeing some kind of technology with glass? Now, how are they doing this? Are they bending light refractions to cover up so you can't see part of the hand through where we see the lens? What is going on? Can they do this towards our skies? Here we have a photograph, some kind of phenomena of a solar simulator. Now this simulator, as the sun is being covered up by an object, a heavenly body, darkening our skies at times of the day that we used to daylight all the time before an evening sunset. Something else where we see strange astronomical colours, blue colours, dark shadows casting, and then we notice a smaller object or a strange sun, a blue torch light or something else, as these huge mirrors, lenses, are trying to imitate the sun. They can't get it right, but something is going on above the Earth's atmosphere. We see this many times now. Are they still using this solar simulator as we start to see objects, heavenly bodies, at a glance, and then so all of a sudden our skies become dark at a random time. Quite some years ago, back in 2017, going back to the original piece of evidence about the simulator, what we'd done was some research. What we did was the light refraction, where the sun is going down. But indeed, when we notice it on a normal day, say in the summertime in the northern hemisphere, we picked up the calculations of the sun was normal, of the sun refraction of light. But all of a sudden as well, random times of the day, on different days, even especially in the winter, you could pick it up very easily, that something wasn't normal. When we picked up the calculations of the sun refraction through the afternoon would dip considerably, where in particular it just vanished, the sunlight, and then all of a sudden we picked up a lower digital reading of a different sun. It wasn't the same. It's not natural. So what is going on there? Just going back and speaking about this phenomena, natural sunlight at a high peak all the time, but then all of a sudden the sun would disappear through cloud formations and then reappear at a lower calculation reading. That indeed it looked white. Something had changed. Other side of the skies, it was pitch black. This particular piece of evidence is the simulating of the sun for photic evidence, where we can see dips of wavelength through the daytime, which shouldn't be there, as the natural sunlight is emitting in the blue. But again, we can see the solar simulator that is discarding the darkness of where we notice the lower dip of the sunlight to try and keep the light looking as natural as possible through the skies. This is a small diagram as well of a solar simulation. What we're trying to say is as well, when we're noticing the changes with the dark area of motion where we see a dip in light, which is unnatural, down towards ground zero, when looking up, noticing the sun setting, are they using a device between this area, clearly of a dark shadow casting of an object in space, where we should be able to see it, Nemesis, in this mini constellation, but indeed what they're using as the sunlight is darkening of shadows from other space bodies, where we won't be able to see it, as they're using the simulator to cover up, to show artificial sunlight, to make it look like everything is normal. But indeed, when this is happening, still we see the phenomenon of changes of weather patterns, which I will show and also speak about on different videos. because that is very important as well. Because the missing key is, with the strange patterns of the floods, bad weather, changes with the vortex, that is another part of information we'll talk about on different videos. There's a lot happening, and it makes it look as well that what is going on, folks, because indeed where this simulator is hiding something, because of the bad weather, if we saw those objects, it is quite understandable. That is the reason why something is going on. There are so many unanswered questions. Real sun, fake sun, hologram. This picture was captured some time ago as well, where you can see the change where the sun should be. But indeed as well, to the lower part of the photograph, the sun is disappearing. It's not disappearing against the horizon, it's disappearing against the sky. Please take a look very closely at this photograph as well. The same phenomena of an object. Now, when showing these photographs, you can clearly see the light refraction from the sun around about 3:40 p.m. This area view sites. Cloud formations, you notice the cloud formations are refracting light from the sun. But indeed there is some kind of heavenly body, some celestial object that's showing up just around about here on this very recent picture. What could this be? Again, smothered up skies, a cloud formation trying to cover up some kind of celestial body. And all of a sudden we start to see a refraction of light, like a purple haze, a red haze, just towards this area where we see the refraction from the sun down below. But this object is becoming redder, much redder in sight. This area is a lens flare. This is a lens flare that you capture on a photograph. But this capture is something very astronomical. Now, speaking of the phenomena of Planet X, Nibiru, Wormwood Star, these objects in space, I explained on the other video as well that they have lots and lots of asteroids, lots of space debris, space dust that's being dragged through the system. Now, this photograph was taken in October the 22nd of 2024. Notice as well where we see the heavenly body or some kind of object. Now, zooming in using telescopes, cameras to planets, you will pick up a heavenly body. But there is something again that shouldn't be there. But again, look at the casting shadow between where we see the upper area and the lower area of the heavenly body. Speaking of the space debris that's being dragged millions and millions of miles, space rocks. Look at these smaller asteroids formations through this photograph in space. Okay, I've got a short piece of footage I want to show you as well about the cover-up of planets through lenses and cloaking. This area here, where we notice the blue sky, there is something that appears like a planet. Let me just show the footage for you as well. It's very important with just showing you this particular piece of evidence. Just show you this. You can see that. Then it disappears. Going back to the 10-second stamp as well, as the sun was setting, you can incredibly see some kind of formation of a planet. It doesn't move. As the sun is going down across the horizon, this object is staying in the same place. What on earth are we seeing? Are we noticing Nibiru, Nemesis? Let me just show you this as well. Hold on. Notice how the colour formations and the light refractions across where we see the view sight of a celestial body. These pictures are incredible. I'll bring up some more evidence shortly as well to show you more classified photography of something appearing through the skies. So indeed, thank you for watching this short broadcast with strange artifacts, pictures, phenomena, objects in space. I will be back very shortly with a new broadcast. Kindest regards from Matt Rogers.